Welcome back to Studio 21,
Today we've got your latest in film reviews and hot gossip.
plus a letter from a very special guest, some surprise stunts, and so much more right here on Studio 21.
So, as always, it's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Gossip Guru. I'm Anna.
And I'm Nate.
In major film news this week, the cast of an upcoming group of Beatles biopic was officially revealed to a mixed reaction.
A reaction I entirely understand. I mean, they could have created a movie that fulfills the energy of all the characters and ideas they wanted to capture. But if the writing is anything like the casting, they don't have a chance.
Wow, Nate, I didn't know you were such a major Beatles fan.
I mean, what's not to like? They're funny, cool, interesting, strong. I mean, the list goes on.
Well, clearly the casting has most fans pretty rattled. The Fab Four are played by Joseph Quinn, Barry Keoghan, Harry Dickinson, and Paul Mescal.
I mean, you already know my thoughts on Keoghan. Boy's got less sense than a melted candle for what he did to Sabrina. The rest of them are whatever, yeah, but they just don't make sense.
Another major complaint has been where the actors are from versus their characters. None of the actors are Liverpool locals, unlike the originals.
What? What does Liverpool have to do with anything?
That's where the Beatles are from.
Well, yeah, I guess some are.
No, Nate, what do you think we're talking about?
You know, Beatles. Little bugs. You know how much I love those guys?
This movie is about the band.
What band?
The Beatles, John, Paul, George, and Ringo.
There's no way you're trying to convince me that there's someone named Ringo.
Whatever. Either way, the casting has been a major bummer to some fans, who call it basic modern casting as opposed to anyone who looked like them.
Exactly. Four guys that don't even look like bugs at all. They didn't even cast Cillian Murphy.
Still not what we're talking about, Nate. Hopefully the actors will prove hardcore fans of the Beatles wrong.
You know, funnily enough, our next set of news is also related to the number 4. Call it fate or coincidence, there is absolutely no denying the incredibly deep psychic bond that our writers have.
I absolutely could not agree more with Nate. Regarding the news on one of the biggest sporting events of the year just took place right here in San Antonio.
But instead of taking our words for it, a special writer would like to say a word.
Dear Mr. and Mrs. Clow, and the other viewers of Studio 21, it is our great pleasure to read for you today the words of Lady Loudmouth Upperton.
I would like to first express my gratitude for thee for allowing me a moment to truly express myself. I would also like to take a moment to acknowledge that, due to budget constraints in the beauty department here, they will not allow me to read my own words to you, so I must rely on 2 peasants to speak for me.
The final fourth, I believe they call it, happened this past weekend in the Antonio of San, and it was quite a remarkable one.
I happened to be there with a consort of mine, and let me just say, there was no deeper displeasure than thine own when Florida, the patron saint, state of all sinly, unholy, and downright disgusting, beat Auburn, the only civilized place in one of the other states of these United States.
Having the most obnoxious Florida fans surrounding me was not my cup of tea, though I am unsure if Florida has any other kind of fans.
But that game was first in the evening for a reason. The real showstopper was the second game.
Houston, the most beautiful, courageous, and wonderful city in the world, I know Lord and Lady Clow will agree with me, had to play versus Duke. It was the most offensive, watching Cooper Flagg run around onto the court with his other little buddies.
Duke was ahead for most of the game because, of course, such a privileged team would be. As a Houston fan, I had mostly given up by the middle of the second half. Being behind by almost 15 reminded me of the hardships I faced during the Revolutionary War, being a staunch supporter of the American colonies, despite living in Britain. What can I say? That George Washington was a very handsome and persuasive man.
But Houston was able to cut the lead to just 9 points, and soon with a couple of good runs and the luck of being in the bonus early into the second half, it was looking like a real ball game again.
With only 19 seconds left in the whole game, Duke was up by 1 point. And then Cooper Flagg fumbled harder than King Louis XVI did with moi. He fouled Houston's Juwan Roberts, who made both his free throws, then missed a shot with only 3 seconds to go.
Long story short, Houston won and took their rightful place in the championship game versus Florida on Monday.
But now I am even sadder than I was when the Beatles broke up. Houston lost last night. My consorts and I devoted the rest of our night to crying, and I only woke up today to write this part.
But we all must move on. We can all take comfort in knowing that the Houston Cougars were still the hotter and cooler team. Signing off for now, Lady Loudmouth Upperton.
Go! Oh, I'm sorry, I feel like I just came out of a fog.
I think we were possessed.
Oh, this is going to come up in therapy later this week. But the show must go on.
Coming up, we'll drop in on release date.
And later, we have an all-new off-the-record segment just for you.
But first, it's time for our music video of the week. This week's featured video was accepted to MTV.
The band Freeze Machine is from Long Beach, California, and led by frontman Jordan Schmidt.
Blending elements of nu metal, post-punk, and shoegaze, their sound is a mix of melodic heaviness and experimental beats.
Inspired by Deftones, Spiritbox, Nirvana, and My Bloody Valentine, Jordan's music explores themes of mental health and personal struggles using raw, passionate vocals and intricate, rhythm-focused guitar work.
So, without further ado, please enjoy Edge of a Knife by Freeze Machine.
Your touch a thread down, a spell cuts through the white noise. We make believe in darkness, secrets we deploy now. You hold my head like the edge of a knife into my hands. It's a beautiful life. Yeah, your road to oceans collide within my grasp till the end of the line. Just like the edge of a knife. The silence speaks a truth unwound beneath the veils. Our demons bind. Your touch a thread downtown. Let's pull up the earth topside. You hold my head like the edge of a knife into my hands. It's a hell in your room. You already know within my
Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Release Date. I'm Zane.
And I'm Carrie.
Lower! 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 Come on! We're almost there. Lower! Honestly, this is good enough. First up, the recently released A24 comedy horror film, Death of a Unicorn.
Death of a Unicorn, directed by Alex Schwartzman and starring Jenna Ortega, Paul Rudd, and Richard Grant, follows Ridley and Elliot, a father and daughter with a strained relationship, on their way to a weekend retreat with the billionaire owner of the pharmaceutical company that Elliot is a lawyer. On his drive there, Elliot hits a unicorn with their car, and coming into contact with his horn, Ridley has a strange and miraculous vision. Once there, Elliot's boss and his family discover the unicorn and seek to exploit its corpse for their greedy, self-serving ends.
Now, I admit, I was not very hopeful of this movie being good after seeing the trailer like a million times in the theater, and I was right. It's not. I should preface by saying that I found this movie largely entertaining. Despite my myriad of issues with it, I felt engaged from start to finish and didn't really feel the need to check the time throughout it. So, points given there. That said, the first half of this movie does have some slower pacing. Not bad, necessarily, it's not glacial or anything, but I felt it was noticeably slower than the second half. As for the plot itself, it's just dull. It's your predictable, pre-packaged class commentary, rich people are evil narrative, devoid of any nuance or thoughtful and or intelligent critique, something that I feel is kind of essential to making these kinds of stories work. I'm not saying this movie needs genius-level analysis like Kurosawa's High and Low. I mean, Mickey 17, which I just reviewed, I don't think is profound in this way. But all of the surrounding narrative elements of the film compensate for that, where in this film they don't. Speaking of such elements, possibly the weakest one is the characters. Now, the acting for these characters is fine. There aren't any bad performances in my opinion, and Richard Grant is great. He's absolutely killing, and clearly having a lot of fun with the role. But the actual writing of these characters is, once again, just dull. Every character is a basic cardboard cutout of exactly that archetype without a single unique or compelling dimension added. If you've seen a strained father-daughter relationship before, you'll know exactly how this one plays out. If you've ever seen a family of antagonists, their dynamic is exactly what you'd expect. At every turn, this film makes the most drab, boring, uninspired choices possible. This is especially sad given how wacky and weird the premise is. If you're going to make a bad movie with this premise, do it boldly, with strange choices that you can't even comprehend why they were made, not safe and inoffensive ones. You can check this out if you want, but I find it a mildly entertaining and uninspired time killer.
Our next film is one of the most anticipated films of the year, based off one of the best-selling video games of all time, a Minecraft movie.
A Minecraft movie released this past Friday and stars Jason Momoa, Jack Black, and Emma Myers, and takes place in the cubic world based off the video game, Minecraft. The film follows four misfits who get sucked into a portal into the overworld, which thrives on imagination and creativity. In order for them to get back home, they have to master the skills of both mining and crafting, as well as embarking on a magical quest with a master crafter named Steve in order to save the overworld.
To be honest, I didn't really have that much hope when I saw the first trailer, but now, having watched the film, I can tell you that if you watch the trailer, that's pretty much most of the movie right there. However, instead of me being extremely cynical about this movie and going on and on about it, how it was a waste of money and time, this movie was in fact actually pretty decent. First of all, let's start with the bad. The special effects were awful. Pretty much the entirety of the overworld was green screened, and there was it was very obvious that it was. Some of the scenery, like the lawn shots, look really cool. However, when the characters are just standing there, it looks extremely out of place. While the overworld is supposed to look out of place compared to the humans, it just looks tacky. They could have just fixed it with the lighting, but still, it looks awful. However, some of these scenes do look good with the lighting, especially the night scenes. That was pretty cool. The script and the plot, however, were extremely mediocre. Pretty much all of the characters were just very common archetypes without any defining feature, and were just extremely bland. However, the performances were not half bad. Jack Black, who plays Steve, I found quite entertaining because of his absolutely insane and mediocre acting and performance. However, it just felt like stereotypical Jack Black with a blue shirt slapped on him, which, by the way, I'm not complaining about. The others, though, it's like it's okay. They tried their best. The plot is exactly the same as 2017's Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle, but with just Minecraft slapped all over it. as it's not really that exciting or original. And the dialogue. Oh boy, it's corny. From Jack Black constantly announcing random objects, monsters, and items which are prominent to the game, to really stupid slapstick, and just random singing and other annoying stuff. It feels rather like a parody of Minecraft than what Minecraft is supposed to represent. But hey, Minecraft is just a game really just about mining and crafting, so we can't really do much with that, I guess. Overall, even though that this movie was pretty bad, it still entertained me. And the audience was probably one of the most fun I've ever seen. I would not recommend watching this movie on streaming or pirating it, but instead with a theater with lots of people. It's a lot more fun that way. And hey, you can hear Steve say the funny words such as flint and steel and chicken jockey, which have been overpopulating the internet recently. But in the end, I think the true Minecraft movie is the friends that we made along the way.
Speaking of friends, I think it's time we check back in with our friends over at Gossip Guru because it's almost time for us to go off the record.
But first, Kate is back to highlight another local restaurant, Lover's Pizzeria. Let's check that out.
Hey everyone, it's Kate here today with local finds at Lover's Pizzeria. Lover's Pizzeria relaunched their new storefront at the start of February and is a family-run business serving up coal oven pizza pies using natural leavened crust. I could not be more excited to be here today with owners Victoria and Dusty to ask some questions. First up, why pizza?
We did this because we love making pizza together.
Yeah.
And we want to continue making pizza together. And we finally have a great location and a great neighborhood and, trying to make, we're going to get a new mixer, trying to expand upon it as much as
growing.
we have here, hopefully we'll get a patio out here soon. So,
It's more seating.
but, trying to just expand upon this place and just have this place be amazing because I love mom and pop places in general. Those are our favorite types of restaurants. And that's what we want to be at the end of the day. We make all the dough.
Yeah.
Victoria makes all the pizzas. We're in the back making the pizzas ourselves. It's what we love to do. So as long as we can do that, that's what we want.
Yeah.
So.
How has the local community responded to the restaurant so far?
Oh, the local community has been so amazing. They've really embraced us. At our old location, we did have a lot of regulars that sustained us, and they have thankfully followed us over here.
Awesome.
But on top of our regulars, we've had so many people from the neighborhood, people who the law offices, the real estate offices coming by, and so all of that has been really amazing to see people. I always ask them oh, how'd you guys hear about us? And a lot of it's oh, Instagram, that sort of thing. But a good portion of it has been, just driving by. I live down the street and I wanted to check you out. And that's what we love. Our whole idea is neighborhood pizzeria.
And then do you use any locally sourced or special ingredients, would you say, in your pizzas or desserts?
For sure, yeah.
We try to use almost everything local, as much as we can.
As much as we can.
Pizza is such a commodified thing that everybody uses grande mozzarella or whatever.
The Caputo flour.
Right, but we really try to use Texas ingredients. We use Barton Springs Mills, which is a local Texas flour. We use
The Texas Olive Ranch for our olive oils.
Right.
We get local mushrooms from a guy here
In San
in San Antonio.
South Texas Seasonals. He's the man.
Our sausage is from
Peaceful Pork.
Peaceful Pork in Fredericksburg.
Yeah.
Who's a really good family-run
Right.
farm. So it's we say we're West or East Coast style pizza, but it is very Texas informed.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then last question, what are your personal favorite items?
That's a good question.
My personal favorite pizza is our vodka
Okay.
with onion and pepperoni.
Okay.
That's when I see people ordering
That's
that,
classic.
I'm
That's a
they're gonna
classic,
get
yeah.
a good pizza.
My favorite is probably plain cheese
Okay.
or poblano with sausage and mushroom. I'm such a simplistic person, but all of our ingredients and everything is so good and so local that kind of it's something you can't get anywhere.
Yeah.
You literally can't get a poblano pizza anywhere. And then the type of sausage we use and the type of mushrooms, it's so unique. So it you really can't, I just love it.
Yeah.
So.
We'll have to see.
Yeah.
For sure. Right. Thank you guys so much.
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Appreciate it.
Welcome back to Off the Record.
Today we're going back to our elementary school days with a fun twist on a game you might be familiar with.
Unfortunately, we can't use the name, so you'll just have to guess. Think Angry Libs, Crazy Libs, Wild Libs.
Whatever it's called. Let's just get started.
Oh.
It's
It's LibsMad! Yay! Looks like a lot of fun.
okay. These are the definitions of what words mean. A noun is a word that names a person, place, thing, or idea.
A verb is a word that expresses an action, state, or occurrence.
An adjective is a word that describes or modifies a noun.
Yay!
Yay.
Name a noun. Pizza.
Horse.
Topical.
Corn.
One. Wait, what do we even say?
A noun, ideally, I think.
A noun.
We'll go with pizza. That was a good one. It's
Okay.
topical.
Yeah, that's the first one.
Yeah,
We
pizza.
just go with the first one.
Can we just go with the first one?
Time period.
2016.
Okay.
Good one.
Pizza 20.
Sure.
Name an adjective. Funny.
Okay, y'all don't need to slow down because I am editing this story.
Okay.
We're too
told to
good.
slow down.
We're too good.
Yeah, we're definitely.
So how's everyone doing?
Pretty good.
Not you.
It's been all right.
Oh my god.
It's been all right. You know, it's been a while. Oh, verb. Name a verb.
Failing.
Good.
Yeah.
What was it?
Failing.
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 Yeah.
Okay.
We're just failing.
Name a noun. Anna.
Wow. Okay. She wants me to fail. That's. I understand.
Proper nouns.
I see how it is.
Yeah, it is a proper noun.
Okay, Anna.
You guys got any weekend plans? You know.
No. Name
Name
a
a Studio 21
Nate,
host.
Nate.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Nate. I feel like we just did that.
I
Well,
also missed an adjective. Could y'all give me an adjective?
Oh,
Descend.
gooey.
that's
Descend.
Descend.
that's not an adjective.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a
We
verb.
read the
That's a verb.
definitions
Never
and
mind.
Read the
everything.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
An adjective.
Gooey. I
Descendant.
think gooey.
Do we?
my
Okay.
mom's gonna be so disappointed in me.
You're going to.
Okay.
We're putting you back up in the sky.
Name a professor. Oh, I'm not doing this one.
Albert.
Somebody else.
Oh my. Dude, not Bal.
What?
Wait,
Come on.
is it Balbert?
Yeah, Balbert.
B-A-L-B-E-R-T.
Yeah, he's like an English
I thought
professor.
you said
and
Albert
he's,
first.
he taught my parents when they went here. That's
Really?
a trivia
Dude.
fact for you guys.
Oh my god, wait, I like dropped one of his classes
known
because
he's a
like Loki,
legacy.
he like
'Cause he's
he like
scary.
started screaming and I
Yep.
was like, name me.
And that'll happen. That weeds you out. That's
can
how.
we
That's
just,
how
can
you
we
know
just
whether
name
or not he's
myself
a-
at this point?
Oh,
Yes.
Carrie.
Carrie.
We didn't have very many options left.
Name. Okay.
Zane.
Zane. Okay.
We're out of options.
Yeah, we're out of options.
Okay.
I know.
Yeah, that's 3 hosts and a noun. Nice to know where I fit in. All right.
More Studio 21 hosts. Riz.
Riz.
Can we do Riz?
Okay.
1 second. Let me get one more adjective.
Oh.
Descend.
Oh my god. Is there like an
Deceptive.
There we go. Deceptive.
Deceptive. That is an
There we go.
adjective.
That's a good one.
Deceptive, I like that.
I do like.
I thought we were done with the words. I was gonna cheer us on. Oh.
Trinity University.
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't know.
Go to a different place.
Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Keeping it topical. I like this.
Yeah.
This is good.
Name a minor inconvenience.
People
Broken.
walking
Being around
too
a wall.
slowly.
Major.
People walking too slowly. Okay.
No, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Speed up.
Yeah, I know. Like.
Yep.
It's not that hard.
There's nothing minor about that inconvenience. Those
It's
people need
usually
to be
children.
I said broken
Yeah,
leg. I
maybe
feel
I
like
could
that's
just,
the wrong energy.
A catchphrase.
Yabba dabba do.
Good one.
That
Good
is
one.
that is a good one.
Well done.
Does anyone know how to spell yabba dabba?
I think
Oh,
it's
Y-A-B-B-A-D-A-B-B-A-D-O-O.
Thank you.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. I have to spell that a lot.
Fell.
Descent.
Descended.
Descendant?
Yeah, can we do
That's a
descent?
nicer version of fell.
Yeah. Fell. Maybe Zane just
With grace, you know.
descended with grace.
So many words. Oh, are you
I
ready
don't
for
think
your
so.
story?
Sure.
Yay!
ready.
I'm so excited. Look at me. Look at me. Do you know who you're talking to? I am Pizza Man, the greatest superhero since 2016.
I save people from everything using my gooey powers. My powers include funny bridges, failing children, and using my awesome death ray to eviscerate all Anna. But nothing is ever easy, not even for a superhero like me. In order to save the world, I have to defeat my nemesis. Now, I know what you're thinking, but no, it wasn't Dr. Evil, no Mr. K, or even Nate. No, not them. It was the most evil one of all, Professor Blabber.
Albert.
Close.
Albert.
Okay, Blabber. It was one of the hardest fights I've
Close
ever
again.
endured. Carrie was summoned from the grave. Zane was wielding an axe, and Tom Cruise was trying to get me to join Scientology. My deceptive powers were not strong enough, so I had to get tricky. I said, Riz, and used my intelligence to lure the professor to the Liverpool. There they had to deal with slow walkers and then died. Finally, I said my famous catchphrase, yabba dabba doo, and then descended my way home.
That's pretty awesome.
I don't have to be convinced. I'm on board,
That was
Tom.
beautiful.
I'm not even
Shout
here
out
right
Professor
now,
Albert. You
so
hate this show.
I know.
Up. Get me out of here.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that is all the time we have left today for Studio 21.
but make sure to tune in next week for the latest in celebrity news and gossip.
Our takes on new releases in the movie and gaming world, and so much more.
We'll see you next time, and thanks for watching
Studio
21.
All right, get me out of here.